Hello, welcome to second grade vocabulary. Let's start lesson 1. First word is curious. Curious means eager to know. So if you're a curious person, you really want to learn, right? Let's see the example. The dog was curious about the toy. The dog was curious about the toy. Curious means eager to know. It is an adjective. So curious is an adjective. Brave. Brave means without fear, or it means having courage. So usually in main characters in a book or a movie, they're sometimes very, very brave. Here's an example. He was brave to stand up for his brother. He was brave to stand up for his brother. Brave is an adjective. Argue. Argue means fight using words. Have you ever had an argument with your mother or dad or brother or sister because they made you you didn't agree with what they were saying? So maybe. So argue means fight using words. Example, when my brothers can't agree, sometimes they argue. When my brothers can't agree, sometimes they argue. Argue is a verb. Learn. Learn means to gain knowledge or skill. We go to school to learn. Learning is very, very exciting. Don't you agree? I think learning is very, very exciting. I hope one day you discover, or if you don't know already, that learning can be very, very exciting, and it can help you discover many, many, many things. But let's get back to the topic. Learn means to gain knowledge or skill. Example: did you learn the material for the test today? Did you learn the material for the test today? Learn is a verb. Journey. Journey means to travel from one place to another. Journey is another word for trip. Example: we took a journey to see the world. We took a journey to see the world. Journey is a noun. Some people say life is a journey. Next, familiar. Familiar means something you know because familiar is something you know because you see it a lot. So if you're familiar with something, you know it because you see it a lot. Example: after years of studying chemistry, he was familiar with the subject. After years of studying chemistry, he was familiar with the subject. Familiar is an adjective. Launch. Launch means to release or send off into the air. Right, we usually have a countdown. 3, 2, 1, launch, or blast off, right? So launch. Or a company launches a new product. So launch means to release or send off into the air. They are going to launch the new space shuttle tomorrow. They are going to launch the new space shuttle tomorrow. Launch is a verb. Reservation. Reservation is something set aside and saved for special purpose. So reservation is something set aside and saved for a special purpose. Example: don't forget to make a reservation at the restaurant so they would save us a table. So we usually make a reservation so we don't have to wait. So the restaurant sets a table for us, right? So don't forget to make a reservation at the restaurant so they would save us a table. Reservation is a noun. Clever. Clever means intelligent, bright, or having a quick mind. He is a very clever dog, right? So example: that is a very clever idea. I think it might work. That is a very clever idea. I think it might work. Clever is an adjective. Adopt. Adopt means to take legally into one's family and raise as one's own child. Example: Mr. and Mrs. Lee were happy to adopt a young boy as their own. Mr. and Mrs. Lee were happy to adopt a young boy as their own. Adopt is a verb. Famous. Famous means very well known. Like we know famous people, we know famous restaurants, right? Famous. Example: he is a very famous movie star. He is a very famous movie star. Famous is an adjective. Grumpy. Grumpy means unhappy and in a bad mood. Example: sometimes old people can be very grumpy. Sometimes old people can be very grumpy. But sometimes old people can be very nice. But sometimes they can be very grumpy. But young people can be grumpy too, right? Grumpy is an adjective. Puzzled. Puzzled means confused or do not understand something. So when you're puzzled, you do not understand something. I was puzzled. Example: I was puzzled and didn't know the answer. I was puzzled and didn't know the answer. Puzzled is an adjective. Hefty. Hefty means large or strong or quite heavy. Example: he's a hefty man. He's a big man. He's a strong man. He is a hefty man. Hefty is an adjective. That's all we have for today. See you next time. Bye bye.